Back-to-back days with homers for Christian Yelich, and the Brewers strike first in L.A.
Why?
Why? I don't know why. I don't know. Never been in a fight. You?
No, but that's a good thing.
No, it is not. How much can you know about yourself? You've never been in a fight. I don't want to die without any scars. So come on, hit me before I lose my nerve.
Coming over tonight. Hell right. Everybody's slowing down on a Friday night somewhere.
See, that's the difference between us. You think we're fighting, and I think we're finally talking.
You ain't done nothing if you
Mike Heller joins us now. Is golf too easy? Seems that way for these pros. 28 under your winning score at the John Deere Classic. It's not too easy for you, is it?
Hell no.
For both you guys, it's too easy. What are you talking about? Hell, you live on the golf course. You might as well live on a golf course for as much as you guys golf. You're golfing tomorrow. I mean, the real reason that they got you two golfing tomorrow is because you guys are good and it's with clients, so it makes, get the good golfers there. I don't know why I got invited because it's going to be a long 18 holes with me. But you two, you guys should be
fun.
pros.
18 holes. Yeah.
Listen, you're entertaining.
So this guy shoots 59. Hayden Springer.
Golf, I would laugh too.
Yeah.
Guy shoots 59, which is now the 10th sub 60 round in the last 15 years after going decades, Heller, without anyone hitting that more. Like there's one or two along the way from the original Al Geiberger, Mr. 59.
Right. Yeah.
And now there's been a slew of them. And this was not a putt-putt course. It was 7,263 yards, but that's kind of short by today's tour standards. Soft, ball didn't roll out very far. Greens were receptive, and you could stick them in there, and guys were putting them in from all over the place. But Hayden Springer shoots 59 and finishes T7.
Never heard of that.
T7 for him.
Here's
and you never heard of Hayden Springer.
Yeah, and here's one of the things I think that the problem is on both tours right now. Well, on the PGA and the LPGA is I don't know anybody. And I'm waiting for the next player that I have to see. Oh my God, you got to watch. So
right.
we've had them generationally because you had Jack and Arnold Palmer early for the early TV watchers of the golf industry. And then you got Tiger and you got Phil. Now, people don't think of Phil in there, but Phil absolutely was somebody that made you watch because
he was box office.
You loved him early. And then we haven't had anybody. I mean, look at Spieth and Justin Thomas early. You look like, here we go. I think it right now that you can look at Scotty Scheffler and go, here we go. You had Rory, but Rory lived there for a year and a half, 2 years where he was winning. And now he's not. Now he hadn't won a major in a decade plus. And, and I wonder about Scheffler. A, he's not box office material, to use your term. And B, the LPGA has nobody. I mean, they don't have anybody. Michelle Wie.
They have a lot of tremendous Korean-born women's players.
And Nelly Korda is great, but again, who's going to capture my imagination? Caitlin Clark is the example. She's done it in women's basketball. And I don't see anybody doing it right now in golf. And I think golf's got to be a little worried about this.
You got to say the same thing about tennis, too. Wimbledon's going on right now, and you got nobody.
I said that to Armin last week. I said, I can't name the players because the men's generation is transitioning out. And the women's generation, if Coco Gauff is that.
And she lost yesterday. And the only reason I know that I happened to be cutting the grass. That's the only reason I knew she lost.
That's how we know things when you cut the grass.
The sweet sounds of tennis in the sun.
I had the radio on, and while I was cutting the grass, that's the only reason I would have known it, Helen. I mean, I cut my own grass, unlike probably yourself. You probably that's part of
I cut my grass.
The service that you have at the Ninth Fancy Club, and I understand that, but I cut my own grass.
Yeah, Butch, here's the deal: if I cut the grass on a weekday, I'm listening to whoever's on the air with us, right? True, not making that up. If I cut the grass on a weekend, I'm listening to Yacht Rock or whoever I want to listen to. I'm not listening to
Yacht Rock.
Yeah.
Well, I was listening to Fox Sports, then I heard Brian Noah in my ears when I was finishing. When I was finishing up. It was perfect timing.
Okay, real golfer or fake, Butchie and Josh.
Okay.
3 guys. You tell me which of these guys are real or fake. JT Klink, Michael Thorbjornsen, Rico Hoey.
How many are
real
fake?
or fake?
They're all real.
JT, that is incorrect.
Yeah,
Dang it.
JT Klink is incorrect. CT Pan is a real
correct.
guy.
That's a real guy.
There's no JT Klink. There is a Michael Thorbjornsen,
Yep.
not to be confused with Thorbjorn Olesen, who pretty much plies his trade on the European tour.
Wow.
And Rico Hoey is from Puerto Rico, and I love the name. Rico Hoey. So, yeah, the winner was this kid, Davis Thompson, who's from Georgia, who could be the next thing, Mr. Heller. Maybe, maybe not. He's 6'4", lean, skinny guy, makes a ton of birdies. Dad played at Georgia, played basketball in high school. He was a two-sport athlete. Very boring. I mean, deathly boring. Like, ratings killing boring. He made a 70-footer on one yesterday and just went, okay, that's good. Yeah. All right, enough of this. I understand you're going to be playing with our knuckleheads at Lawsonia in a couple of weeks. I've been told by a little birdie, that birdie being Big Mike, says you're going to join the crew, the traveling circus that is.
Big Mike threw me an invite with my buddy Knatz, and we have played together once in the Bloody Horns. So we're going to match up. And Knatz has wanted to play, my buddies wanted to play a round of golf with you, Steve, since, well, you know, I've been after you since this relationship started.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, so this invite Knatz had for me at what sweet course does he belong
Maple
to
Bluff,
up there in Madison?
Maple Bluff Country Club.
Yeah. This is not going to negate that invite, right?
No,
I'm still
that
going to get to go to
that
Knatz's
invite
place.
stands. Well, maybe. I mean, if he plays
What
golf
do you
with you,
mean, maybe?
well, because if he plays golf with you at Lawsonia
And
he
doesn't
goes,
like it.
that was
Yeah.
underwhelming. Then it might be pulled.
Well, it will certainly be underwhelming, but will it be unpleasant?
I don't know
think the
about
answer is
that.
no. I
Pretty
bring
sure-
drinks, as you
pretty
know.
sure not. Well, that's what I've heard.
I bring drinks, whether
Yeah.
it's allowed or not.
Yeah.
So how unpleasant could it possibly be?
They're only for you.
I'm still on probation at TPC because of that.
It'll come off in another couple weeks
Yeah, it
because
comes
we're at
off
the
in
1 year
September.
anniversary of that. Comes off in September when that finally goes there. All right, so the Brewers, they win one yesterday, 9-2. Yelich home run. He's an all-star along with Contreras. There's an argument to be made that maybe some alternate should have been there as well. Big picture, though, Mike, when you look at the Brewers, how happy are you at the way this season's unfolding? And is Yelich back?
Yeah, Yelich is. I mean, he had some power outage after the back injury at the beginning of the year because he started off with the 5 home runs in the first 2 weeks, and then the back injury. And when he came back from that, the power wasn't there, but the average was, and his ability to spray it and get on base. But now it's all there. All the elements are in his game right now. He is one of the elite hitters in baseball, and he's doing it to all fields and with power. Yeah, he's keep him
Does
healthy.
he know why? Do they know why? Or do they not care why?
It's health. It's his back.
Oh, it
And
is.
when
Okay.
When it's healthy, he can free swing, and when it's not, he's got to contort certain things, and it takes away all of his power. And nobody says I used to have a bad back, so you're always going to worry about his back being an issue. But right now, he's in full health mode, no issue, and he's banging. He's just really, really, really good.
This story, boys, brings me genuine, heartful happiness for a good guy who suffered and struggled for several years. I'm old enough to remember, Josh, when people would call the show screaming about get rid of Yelich.
Yep.
Cut Yelich.
Yeah.
Just cut it and cut ties and move on, right?
Well, be honest with yourself. Did you see Yelich putting up anywhere near these type of numbers this season?
No, I
No.
didn't think he
Right.
would return to power and average combo. I thought he could become like last year
Right.
when Craig put him in the leadoff role. I never liked it. I thought it was anecdotal that he had success when they moved him to the leadoff spot. I never liked it. He's in a really good spot right now, and this is simply a question of being healthy. And right now he's healthy, and go ahead and do it. He's got some protection around him too. Hoskins, even though Hoskins has been, struggling certainly for the better part of a month now, He's protection. Adames is protection. Bryce Terang should have been in the All-Star game.
Agreed.
You could say Brian Hudson, but middle relievers are, how do you put him in? Because you either go starter or closer. That's what they do.
Right.
I didn't have a big argument. Joey Ortiz, if he was healthy into the All-Star break, maybe. But Bryce Terang is the one that had a bit of a beef. It's too bad.
We're a long way from the bad old days of the condescending, obligatory Brewer All-Star player, because they made every team have one, right?
Yeah.
Who would be some of those names in history? That was the pat on the head. Go ahead. You can represent the team.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly who they would have been, but guys like you can go all the way back to today. George Scott, first baseman, would have been an obligatory All-Star type pick.
Go to Wikipedia, Josh. Brewer All-Stars
BJ
through the years. They'll probably have a list, and you'll see a long list of single entries of very random players, and be like, yeah, that guy.
Well, it was my childhood is what it was.
Sure. Yeah, right.
I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, it was my childhood.
Well,
Greg
do
Vaughn,
any names
Ricky
ring a bell?
Carlos, Kevin,
I mean,
Jeff Cirillo, Fernando Vina.
Jeff Cirillo. Jeff Cirillo is the avatar.
No,
Right,
Ben
the
Sheets. I was
obligatory-
thrilled when
Yep.
Ben Sheets, but that would be it. Like, I mean, Richie Sexton.
Meanwhile, I feel the need to go back and maybe pick this scab. I don't know if Mike and I see eye to eye on this one, but did you see what Hader did yesterday for the Astros? Did you see what Hader did yesterday for the Astros?
I did not.
As their closer. Gave up a home run in a 3-2 loss in relief.
Okay.
That was the third appearance of the last 4 in which he has surrendered a home run.
Yeah.
He's had 4 home runs in the last 6 appearances. This is really, really bad.
This is what he did 2 years ago, and then the Brewers traded him at the end of July, and then everybody holds it over the Brewers organization like it's the worst thing they could have ever done in the moment. And I've always maintained this, Zabe, is that they saw something in what he was doing where they didn't believe that he was sustainable.
Ding!
Yeah.
And it was the greatest trade they have made in a long time, not just for what it got in return, but also because they got off a sinking ship just in time.
But I would add
he was
one other
blowing
thing.
saves to the Padres that summer once he got dealt. He would have been doing the same thing for us. And the fact that, the clubhouse got all caught up in their feels and they had the sads and it, quote, tanked the season, it means you had a team that was softer than baby poop to begin with that was never going to achieve anything. And it was also Counsell, who clearly was I hate this. He sent the wrong tone publicly, which permeated the locker room and the clubhouse. What, you think Patches would have done that?
That was
same position, same trade?
Yep.
Never.
That was
he
the
would have
one.
said, "Buck up."
That was the one thought I've had about that trade since. Is I wonder how it would have gone down if Murph was leading that clubhouse.
It's a great question, Josh, and I think they mismanaged the internals of that trade.
There's no question.
Yes.
And I don't think, and I think that the perfect example is, would they have done that now? And I'll tell you what, Patches, he would not have allowed the softness. I said this to Kuhn after it happened. I said, after 4 days after it happened, I said, okay, that's it. In your
we were on the show together.
and
Exactly. I remember the conversation because Kuhn and Armin were all up in arms.
You got to stop being soft now. A week later, that's it, boys. Now let's be done with this. Wake
this
up.
Is pro
and
sports
play.
we're talking about here.
They were soft, and this manager would not have allowed that to be as pervasive as it was in the moment. Ultimately, the trade ends up being a good trade. It didn't work in the moment. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers comes over. He didn't do his job.
No.
And it'll hurt the clubhouse, but they were soft. There's no doubt.
It was not on par with, Raleigh and Vuk for Sixto as the greatest trade in team history, but it was a great escape. It was running out of a burning building at just the right time and getting a lot of nice things in return for it.
And if Gasser's arm isn't all, and him having to have surgery, this thing, this is I text you. I said, okay, I sent you the thing that said, "Oh, it's the 37th home run he's given up." That somebody put out there as a joke.
Yeah, Butchie falls for any stat that looks vaguely real from any Twitter account.
There's
that
no
seems
way
to
it
have
was
a blue
real.
check
My
mark.
question to you is this:
You said it as if it was real.
No,
it was like baseball
I sent
stats.
it to you when I was putting the kids to bed for Jiminy Crickets. Jesus,
After he cut the grass.
Josh, do you
That
think?
beats
Josh,
it.
do you think Butchie clearly got hooked by that fake stat?
It did not come across as,
37
hey, look at this
straight
joke.
appearances.
All right, next time I'll make sure I do it correctly so that you guys are happy. That being said, my question today was, where does this rank as far as the all-time trades in Brewer history? Now, it doesn't, the Raleigh, okay, I get that, but it's like the longer we wait, the better this trade gets.
Only if you connect the dots. Only if you connect
Isn't
the dots.
that part of connecting the dots? Isn't that part of the trade?
Only if you connect it to the move that happened 6 months later that gets you Contreras. And it is connected.
It is connected.
But you can't
Connect the dots on the
I don't wanna
Contreras
play
acquisition
that.
to refresh all of our memories.
So what
Because
they
I
end up
haven't heard from Dinelson Lamet in a while.
Yeah, they end up doing the Asturia Ruiz 3-team trade, of which the Brewers send Ruiz to Oakland, I believe, and the third team was Atlanta, and you got Contreras because Atlanta didn't need a catcher anymore.
Correct.
So it is a convoluted way to look at it. The straight up trade in the moment does Gasser's the only one that remains with the team in the trade, in the 2-team trade. That's it. He's the only guy that remains.
Right.
And he's
Asteri Ruiz, by the way,
26.
Asteri Ruiz is playing center field for the A's.
Yeah, he's
so
good.
that's like being in witness protection, but he's only hitting 200.
Yeah, he's
only hitting 200 right now for a terrible team.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we get Contreras because the Braves are like, we got too many catchers, and we're like, thank you. And Ortiz is going to be an echo of that with the Orioles, who are like, we got too many shortstops here. Have this guy. He's great.
Yeah.
Love it.
How's Burns doing?
Okay.
I haven't heard about Burns in a while. Is he doing well over there?
Yeah, I think he's pretty good, Josh.
Okay, he's still doing well?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's doing really, really well.
I don't feel like so many people were upset by that.
Should they have been?
It comes down to timing. That's what it comes down to.
Because you were going to have him pitch into free agency. It comes back to that same argument that you would say, if he's here, he's going to be your game one starter in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw that didn't work well last year. It's not that it wouldn't work well this year. He's been great. And then he's going to be on somebody else's team next year, and you were going to get no comp. You got Joey Ortiz out of the deal, and Joey Ortiz is going to be on your roster for a bunch of years, and you're having to live with this pitching staff.
Here's what I want. See if you guys know this. Mike, you stand down. Butchie and Josh, what do you think they're estimating Burns will make next year per season in his new free agent deal? What do you think the market rate on him per season? He made $10 million in 2023. What do you think next year's number 2025 will be? According to the experts.
38.
38.
I was going to say 20
per year.
I was going to say 23.
42 would be my guess. 42 million
a year.
I had 45 first.
Split Heller and Butchie.
40.
Butchie's 38,
40.
Heller's 42. They're saying 40 is the number.
Yeah.
That's
$40
that's
million.
No.
Well, that's what Scherzer
Couldn't
was
have held
making,
on.
and that's the going rate for that guy. What's Garrett Cole's number? Burns is younger and better than those two guys I just said, and he's going to make that money.
All right,
really
very good.
A lot of money.
All right, Mr. Heller, as always,
Brewers,
a pleasure.
bring him
We'll hear
back.
you today. We'll hear you today, noon to 3. As always, my friend, and look
That's the
forward to
plan.
golfing with you as soon as we can.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you.
All right, buddy. Coming up, I got